Imagine you and your friends went for hiking in the Appalachian Lane and you guys take a wrong turn and your life changes once and for all. Hello guys, this is No Brainer and today I'm gonna explain a horror thriller movie from 2021 called Wrong Turn. Subscribe to watch more videos like this and like this video. Watch out for spoilers ahead. Scott, driving a car and listening to radio, enters Virginia and stops at a police station. Inside, he shows some photos of her daughter Jen to the officer and tells him that her and her friends were traveling, and after not receiving any messages from her for a few weeks he tracked her messages and this town was the last place she texted him from. The officer casually tells Scott that there are many children who come here and they just move on. After some force, Scott filed a report of missing case of her daughter. Next, he went to the hotel they stayed in. The receptionist confirms that they left the second day and the next day all of their thing and their car was gone. He tells her that the police didn't show any form of urgency. She replied, "This is a quiet town. The quieter it is, the more he gets to fish." While driving around the town he sees some weird people and remembers all the voicemails of her daughter. In a bar, he asks around if anyone has seen his daughter. One man says he saw her and says that he is never going to find her. He says down there nature eats everything it catches, right down to their bones. 6 weeks earlier, Jen, her boyfriend Darius, Adam's fiancée Mila, Gary, and Gary's boyfriend Luis drive to Wrenwood, Virginia to hike the Appalachian Trail. Jen looks tensed about this trip but her boyfriend calms her. Their tires burst and they stop by near the mountains. We can see they are being watched from a distance. Once they arrive in the town, they check in the hotel. During checking in, the receptionist asks Jen if they were here before. After saying that they were new here and are just here for some hiking, receptionist advises her not to leave the trails and stay on it. In a local pub, they get interrupted by a guy who tells them that the mountains up there is a little dangerous, so if they need some help he can help. They refused. They got in an argument with the guy who rants at them. But Mila tells him that he has a liver problem, so he stops and leaves saying to be safe. "Maybe we will see you again." While returning back to their hotel they see a stranger looking inside their car. Adam threw a bottle at the stranger and it disappeared. At night Jen sends her father a voicemail and she lies with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend tells her that he works in a non-profit organization because he wants to build a community where people are valued. While they get intimate we see someone watching them from behind the curtains. The next day while running, she stops in an open store where a woman was sewing something. While trying to talk with a small girl, the girl runs away. "Her name is Ruthie," said the woman, and Ruthie doesn't like to talk. She buys a thing from her and goodbye Ruthie and went away as the woman was creepingly watching her. They get ready for the hiking, and reach the destination, the Appalachian Trails. While having fun for some time and seeing new places, Darius suggested that they should leave the trail and go see a Civil War fort. Jen says that the women said they shouldn't leave the trail, but yeah, they still do. While walking for so long they get frustrated and Mila almost fell off the mountain. After walking for 4 hours Darius says that they should go back near the trails, then suddenly they hear a noise from distant and they see a log rolling directly towards them. They starts running away from it and everyone falls except Gary, whose head got crushed by the log. They all wake up and after seeing Gary dead Luis starts crying and everyone regrets this. Mila lost her phone and Darius has no service. Jen sees somebody up in the slope and when they all look the creature disappears. At night, being frustrated Luis shouts that they are lost. Darius says that they are close to the other side. It was raining so they all camp out in the jungle. At night Jen wakes up. With a stroke of lightning she sees someone out of the camp. On other lightning there was no one. During the next day, they all wake up and realize they were sleeping in a graveyard except Mila. Mila was missing. Darius found a carved painting describing Declaration Pledge to the Foundation of America dated November 4, 1859 with names of dozens of families listed there. They all lost their phones too. When Jen said that she saw someone outside the tent. Panicked, Adam runs to find Mila. They all run after him. While searching Mila, Jen sees the same small child, Ruthie. Adam comes to the spot and asks her if she knows where Mila is. Adam says it no coincidence that Jen saw her in the town and her. Afraid, Ruthie runs, Adam and Jen runs after her. While running Adam trips and falls. Jen signals Ruthie to run away. Adam triggers a trap that drags him into a hole where he disappears. Darius tries to go inside but a snake stops him. Jen suggests that they should leave Adam and get off the mountain and get help. But Darius thinks that the hole must be connected to an old mine or something. Jen says someone must have put that trap there. Jen marks the spot and they leave. After walking some distance they find a lodge. There were many chainsaws, lost sunglasses and phones. Suddenly they heard someone and they hide there. We see two men wearing skull faces carrying Adam. Darius pick up an axe and run towards them to save Adam. They stop and they say something to Darius which he couldn't understand. Suddenly Adam wake up and hit one of the guys in the head with a lodge and continue hitting him. The guy dies and the other guy disappears. Adam says these guys killed Mila, that's why he killed him, but Mila comes from behind and they all were shocked to see her. She says she left to pee and after seeing these two guys she hid somewhere. Darius says they have to leave immediately because there can be many more like those two guys. Jen expresses concern that Adam murdered a man for no reason. Adam points to the unsettling outfits and traps as evidence that the men meant them harm. Everyone except Jen agrees with Adam, but Jen thinks that they killed someone so they should not leave. They leave and heads towards east. While walking, Darius hits a trigger and a boulder with nails swings at him. He gets injured. Someone camouflaged as a tree captures Luis. Adam hears many footsteps of people so he runs. Mila follows Adam and falls in a pit. When Adam comes to check Mila, she was injured by spikes. Adam leaves Mila behind. A costumed cult member shoots Mila with an arrow. One by one everyone gets captured by the cult members. We see a flashback scene where Scott tries to contact Jen but his calls forward straight to her voicemail. At present, we see Jen waking up in a covered pit. The same woman from before comes and tells her to stop screaming. After some time she climbs up to see his friends tied and they were taken somewhere. Jen, Darius, Adam, and Luis are brought before a tribunal in the cult's hidden village. Foundation Elder Venable, who is also Edith and Ruthie's father, presides over a trial accusing Adam of murder. Morgan, the masked man who escaped earlier, recounts how Adam murdered his brother Samuel. Morgan explains that the brothers found Adam injured by one of their animal traps and they were merely escorting him somewhere he could get help. Adam offers his side of the story, but Venable dismisses him for his presumptive prejudices against the Foundation's way of life. Venable asks Jen to tell the truth or they will see darkness. Jen denies and says that Adam doesn't kill Samuel. Venable confirms this from Ruthie and being wrong he sentenced Adam to death. Jen, Darius, and Luis are forced to watch Venable beat Adam to death. Venable then sentences the three remaining friends to imprisonment without sight or hearing in a cave with other captives who turned into feral cannibals. Luis tries to run, but is recaptured. Venable takes out Luis's eyes with a hot poker. To avoid a similar fate, Jen proposes that Darius help the cult improve their habitat, while Jen offers her body and says that she is healthy and can provide babies to their community and can marry any man who needs a wife. Venable accepts the offer. Jen and Darius pledge to be loyal citizens of the Foundation. At night, Edith takes Jen to Venable Lodge. Venable says that he didn't have a wife for many years. She strips and offers herself to Venable. The receptionist meets Scott in a bar. She says she told Jen to stay on the trails. She explains that there are people living in the mountains called the Foundations. People in the town don't talk about that. She says in 1859 some families packed up and went up the mountains to protect themselves from the collapse of America. She continues, the people who goes up there doesn't come back alive or dead. She says no one does anything because it made to like they left. On his way back, those men from bar starts beating him and police too doesn't do anything about it. The next day he leaves and decides to go Tati Mountains. The receptionist takes him to her nephew Ed Jenkins and his Cooper to help navigate the forest. However, when there Ed triggers a trap that kills him and Cooper. The cult captures Scott. Scott sees that Darius is now a brainwashed member of the Foundation. Jen shoots her father with an arrow, indicating she is fully brainwashed too, and has accepted her position as Venable's wife. At night Jen rescues her father and asks Darius to come with her, but Darius refuses to leave by explaining he feels he belongs to the Foundation now. Jen reveals she faked her brainwashing in order to convince Venable she was loyal. She finds the front gate closed differently this time. She sees Ruthie. Ruthie helps Jen and Scott find an escape route through the cave of blinded cannibals. A member of the group sees her so she killed him. While going through the caves Jen sees Luis eating hopelessly. She couldn't withstand the pain and kills Luis to free him from this cruelty. Jen shoots Morgan and Scott kills Edith as multiple cult members beset them on their way into the forest. Scott and Jen run into Nate Rhodes and his cronies. Nate explains they only beat up Scott because they thought it would stop him from going into the forest. Nate reveals that the Foundation killed his nephew and he wants revenge. Scott and Jen escape in Nate's truck. While leaving, Nate lit up a fire in front of Venable, who stood there watching them leave. Sometime later, Venable and Ruthie show up at Scott's house with Scott's wife Corinne unaware of who they really are. Now pregnant with Venable's child, Jen imagines a violent confrontation where Venable kills her stepmother and Corinne's two sons, but Jen stabs Venable in the head. In reality, Jen agrees to go peacefully back to the forest with Venable in exchange for his promise to not hurt her family. Jen, Venable, and Ruthie go outside where other cult members wait with an RV. Everyone gets inside the vehicle. Once on the road, however, Jen causes the RV to crash by stabbing everyone to death, including Venable. Holding hands with Ruthie, Jen begins walking back to the house. Thank you guys for watching. Tell in the comments, did you like this movie, and suggest some other movies too.